The discharge of proper duty, complete independence, dexterity, fullness of all beauty, serenity, kind-heartedness, ingenuity, gentility, magnanimity, determination, perfection in all knowledge, proper execution, possession of all objects of enjoyment, joyfulness, immovability, fidelity, fame, worship, pridelessness, being as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, eternity, and many other transcendental qualities which are eternally present and never to be separated from Him. That Personality of Godhead, the reservoir of all goodness and beauty, Lord Shri Krishna has now closed His transcendental pastimes on the face of the earth. In His absence, the age of Kali has spread its influence everywhere. Well, imagine that back then it's already spread. Imagine what's really bad now. In His absence, the age of Kali has spread its influence everywhere. So I am sorry to see this condition of existence. Now continuing this purport. The 14th quality, knowledge, can be further extended into 5 subheadings, namely intelligence, gratefulness. Gratefulness is a quality of knowledge. Interesting, to be grateful. Power of understanding the circumstantial environments of place, object, and time. It's like Prabhupada says in one place that we should be servants of circumstances. Whatever circumstance we find ourselves in, we should try to serve Krishna in that particular circumstance. Interesting. The power of understanding the circumstantial environments of place, object, and time. Perfect knowledge of everything. That's Krishna. Right? We have very little knowledge of very little things. Krishna has perfect knowledge of everything. Knowledge of thyself. Like what did Socrates say?
Know thyself.
Know thyself. And so many scholars are speculating about what that is. But Socrates, he was so intelligent. He had clear understanding of his existence as a soul. But they couldn't catch that. The scholars, they couldn't catch that. Only fools are ungrateful to their benefactors. The Lord, however, does not require benefit from anyone besides Himself, because He is full in Himself. Still, He feels benefited by the unalloyed services of His devotees. Like devotees, so many devotees are serving Krishna, and he appreciates it. He's grateful, although he doesn't need anything. But that's the affection, exchange of affection, right? Like he doesn't need to eat anything, but he's being fed by his parents and by devotees, and Krishna appreciates. The Lord feels grateful to His devotees for such unsophisticated, unconditional service, and tries to reciprocate it by rendering service. Although the devotee also has no such desire in his heart, the transcendental service of the Lord is itself a transcendental benefit for the devotee, and therefore the devotee has nothing to expect from the Lord. He's satisfied just doing service for Krishna. And then Krishna, he fills the devotee with happiness. So he's satisfied. He doesn't want anything more, just the service. On the assertion of the Vedic aphorism, Sarvam Kal Vidam Brahma, we can understand that the Lord, by the omnipresent rays of His effulgence, called Brahmajyoti, is all-pervading inside or outside of everything. like the omnipresent material sky, and thus he is also omniscient. As far as the beauty of the Lord is concerned, he has some special features that distinguish him from all other living beings. And over and above that, he has some special, attractive, beautiful features by which he attracts the mind of even Radharani, the supermost beautiful creation of the Lord. So there's four things that separate Krishna from Vishnu. What are they?
Flute,
Plays the flute.
Venu, Bhakta,
His devotees,
Leela,
his pastimes,
and his beauty.
and his beauty. Yeah, these are
Rupa.
the things that separate Krishna from Vishnu. And in the spiritual world, in Krishna Loka, there's no awe and reverence. They think Krishna's their friend or their son. But in Vaikuntha, there's awe and reverence. They know this is the Supreme Lord. So there's respect. There's awe and reverence. So it's much sweeter in Krishna Loka. Just like the President of the United States or a Prime Minister in the country, he's so much respected throughout the country. But then he goes home and his son will pull his ear and play with him. Like Prabhupada gives the example of that. There was some big person from another country who went to England, and he wanted to speak to the Prime Minister, and it was an appointment was made, and the secretary said, "Well, he's a little busy now," so he had to wait, and he was waiting and waiting. And then he just peeked in the door, and he was playing. He was playing with his grandson. He was a horse, and his grandson was on his back, riding him. Giddy up, giddy up. He was having a good time. So much better than having some meeting with some high official from another country. So this Krishna just likes, being punished by his mother, and his friends are jumping on his back, and they're so much more attractive. He is known, therefore, as Madan Mohan, or one who attracts the mind of even Cupid. Srila Jiva Goswami has scrutinizingly analyzed other transcendental qualities of the Lord and affirms that Lord Sri Krishna is the absolute supreme personality of Godhead, Para Brahman. He is omnipotent, and by his inconceivable energies, and therefore he is the Yogeshwar, or the supreme master of all mystic powers. What's the verse? Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partha Tatrashi Vijayo Javani. The supreme mystic. Yeah. He's a supreme mystic. Being the Yogeshwar, his eternal form is spiritual, a combination of eternity, bliss, and knowledge. The non-devotee class cannot understand the dynamic nature of his knowledge because they are satisfied to reach up to his eternal form of knowledge. All great souls aspire to be equal in knowledge with him. This means that all other knowledge is ever insufficient, flexible, and measurable, whereas the knowledge of the Lord is ever fixed and unfathomable. Srila Sutta Goswami affirms in the Bhagavatam that although he was observed by the citizens of Dwarka every day, they were ever increasingly anxious to see him again and again. The living beings can appreciate the qualities of the Lord as the ultimate goal, but They cannot attain the status quo of such equality. This material world is a product of the Mahatattva, which is a state of the Lord's dreaming condition in his yoga nidra mystic slumber in the causal ocean. And yet the whole creation appears to be a factual presentation of his creation. This means that the Lord's dreaming conditions are also factual manifestations. He can therefore bring everything under his transcendental control, and thus whenever and wherever he does appear, he does so in his fullness. It's like, so he's saying this means that the Lord's dreaming conditions are also factual. Our dreamings aren't factual. Just like I was mentioning earlier, we have nightmares, and sometimes they're so real, and you're like, you wake up startled and even a little fearful sometimes, right? But then we wake up, and it's another dream, that I'm American, that I'm Indian, that I'm Chinese, I'm a male. Another dream. This dream is a little longer. And there's the nightmares, and there's also something called daymares. Nightmare, daymare. And those last longer. I was just speaking to this devotee yesterday. His father passed away maybe 10 years ago, and he's still suffering from it. It's called a daymare. They last longer. Other examples, it's like there's divorces. A man tells his wife, I'm sorry, this is not working. I think we should get a divorce. It's like a daymare. Or sometimes the wife tells the husband, it's not working out. And by the way, I'm having an affair. It's even worse. That's called a daymare. When I was at the university one time, and there was people wearing these bands. I think if someone passed away, what color is it? Black or something?
It's a soldier. They will wear yellow.
But just knowing it, so they were in bands, and I asked one lady, "What's that about?" She said, "Oh, this one girl was waiting for her friend to pick her up, and she was sitting on a curb, and couldn't find her. She was in the middle lane, and she saw her. Oh, there she is, and she pulled over, and she pulled right into another car, and that car just went into her, just dead. So imagine the mother getting that news. Your daughter's passed away. Sorry. I mean, that's a major, it's called a daymare, and they can't get over it for years. And it's like Kesava Swami was speaking to one lady on a plane, and she said, I follow you on the internet. He's a lawyer, maybe 60 years old. She said, I believe in some of the things you say, but some I don't. And then he mentioned he was going to be giving a talk about letting go. And he's a lawyer, so she's a thoughtful person. And he said, so any ideas you might have about what I should say, letting go? And she started crying. He said, my husband died 10 years ago. I haven't let go yet. That's a daymare. Your husband dies, your wife dies. There's so many things happen in life that just hard to get over. Very hard to get over. Material world. There's nightmares, there's daymares, there's daydreams, night dreams. The Lord, being all that is described above, maintains the affairs of the creation, and by his doing so, he gives salvation even to his enemies who are killed by him. It's like that Putana, that who can take shelter of someone more merciful than Krishna? Putana came at him to kill him with this poison. But Bhavagrahi Janardhan, he just saw the good. And she became a mother in the spiritual world. I mean, that's pretty kind. I mean, that's pretty merciful. So what to speak if we give our life to Krishna, trying to please Krishna, trying to find out what is pleasing to Krishna, and doing what is pleasing to Krishna? Then our future is very bright. He is attractive even to the topmost liberated soul, and thus he is worshipable, even by Brahma and Shiva, the greatest of all demigods. Even in his incarnation of Purusha Avatar, he is the Lord of the creative energy. The creative material energy is working under his direction, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 9:10. What's the verse? Maya yaksena prakriti suyate hetunam kondiya jagavi. He is the control switch of the material energy. That's an interesting state. He's the control switch of the material energy. Nothing happens without the sanction of Krishna. Just like you quoted that verse of Bhishma, that no one can understand the plan of the Lord. Nahyasha Karti, was it?
Nahyasya Param.
Nahyasha.
No.
I can't remember it either.
Nahyasya Param Purusam. No.
It'll come. He is the control switch of the material energy, and to control the material energy in the innumerable universes, he is the root cause of innumerable incarnations in all the universes. There are more than 500,000 incarnations of Manu in only one universe. 500,000 incarnations of Manu in only one universe. And how many incarnations are there of Krishna? Unlimited. It's amazing. As many waves as there are in the ocean. Besides other incarnations in different universes. In the spiritual world, however, beyond the Mahatattva, there is no question of incarnations. But there are plenary expansions of the Lord in different Vaikunthas. The planets in the spiritual sky are at least 3 times the number of those within the innumerable universes in the Mahatattva. Yeah, this is one of the most difficult things to understand is all the living entities. So many living entities in the material world, that deviated from service to Krishna. In this universe, in many universes, this is a small universe, and there's like unlimited living entities here. It's just like, it's kind of mind-boggling. But then Prabhupada gives the example of the frog in the well, right? Trying to understand the Pacific Ocean. His friend goes, "Hey, I've seen this body of water. It's like amazing. Well, how big is it?" Nahyasya Karichit Rajan, yeah. So the frog in the well is saying, "Well, how big is it?" He puffs himself up. Is it this big? No, you don't understand. It's inconceivable. And finally he explodes, trying to understand the Pacific Ocean from his little well. So I guess we just have to. That's a good analogy, but it's just like inconceivable. There's a lot of people, a lot of souls have deviated. Just like here in America, there's about 2 million people incarcerated here in America, more than any other country in the world. Of course, we also have almost the biggest population. But that's a lot of people in jail, 2 million. I mean, that's more people than a lot of countries. They're in jail. So this material world also, it's kind of like a jail. They've deviated. So now we're trying to become good citizens again. And all the Narayan forms of the Lord are but expansions of his Vasudeva feature, and thus he is Vasudeva, Narayan and Krishna simultaneously. He is Krishna Govinda Hare Murare He Natha Narayana Vasudeva, all in one. His qualities therefore cannot be counted by anyone, however great one may be. Om Jnanatamanatasya Gyanandina Salakya Chakshram Jina Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah. Ukam Kutavachalam Pangum Bangayate Gurim Yatripa Tadaham Mande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Vanchikapa Tribhyasta Kripa Sindhu Jaivacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So these are some of the amazing qualities of Krishna. Like there's so many incarnations of Krishna. There's also unlimited, wonderful qualities of Krishna. In the Nectar Devotion, it's explained that there's one quality, however, that stands above all the other qualities. And what quality is that? Compassion. Krishna is very compassionate. You know, we decided that we didn't want to serve Krishna anymore. We wanted to be Krishna. So therefore this material world was created. But still Krishna comes out of his compassion to help us wake up from this nightmare. One time a devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, will we remember our existence here in this world when we go back to the spiritual world? Prabhupada said, yes, you'll remember. You'll remember it like a nightmare. Like a nightmare. Yeah. Compared to life in the spiritual world with Krishna, this would be like a nightmare. And some people might say, well, yeah, I'm living a nice life. How could this be a nightmare? But if you compare that with the ecstasy of devotional service, in the service or in the association of Krishna and other devotees, yeah, it's a nightmare. So we're trying to go back to that reality in the spiritual world, but we're serving Krishna. Yeah, either we're serving Krishna or we're serving Maya. So better serve Krishna. Service to Maya means we're just going to get more and more kicks, more and more problems. That's the nature of this world. Like Prabhupada, he was managing such a big society, and so many people would write to him about problems that they have. And Prabhupada, he became eventually just, they're calling me Prabhupada, but they should call me Problem Pod, because so many people are approaching about problems, trying to solve their problems. But the material world, you can't stop. You can't get away from problems. Yeah. But in the spiritual world, no problem. No problem. But to get to the spiritual world, that's a problem. It's not easy. We got to surrender to Krishna. We've surrendered to Maya for so long. Whatever Maya dictates, then we surrender. But now we have to surrender to Krishna. And then we'll definitely be satisfied. Nothing else will satisfy the soul except for service to Krishna. We have to get this knowledge, this knowledge of the truth. There's so much knowledge. It's like you go to the universities and there's so much knowledge, but there's no knowledge by which one can understand the self. There's knowledge of engineering and business and so many things. And what is the goal? Yeah. Money. Yeah. Business, that's a big one in universities, right? Engineering, technology, computer technology, to get money. And now the philosophy departments are practically, of course, even if there is a philosophy department, it's all speculation. So they can't actually get knowledge, valuable knowledge, by which they can become free of this material existence. People are interested in freedom, but one is not free until one is free of the modes of nature. And that's the big challenge, to become free of the modes of nature. Because it's unnatural for the soul to be under these material modes. Because the soul is transcendental. It's natural. Prabhupada actually says there's the pure devotional mode of nature. There's the mode of goodness, but then there's a pure devotional mode also, which is pure devotional service, which is this is the goal. But to achieve that, we have to surrender. Bhakti amam majanati yavanyas chadri. One can understand the Supreme Personality of God as He is only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of Him through such devotion, one can enter into the kingdom of God. So this is our aspiration, a great challenge. The greatest challenge any of us will face is to engage in pure devotional service. And this is what will satisfy the soul. Nothing else will fully satisfy the soul. But to get that, we have to take the leadership of Krishna and the sadhus. Just like we had this nice festival. There's so many devotees there, so many sannyasis, so many devotees. So by this association, then this devotional mood, it rubs off onto us. If we associate with people who aren't devotional, that also rubs off. Unless one is very, very, very devotional, like Prabhupada is so much devotion. Went to New York City, which is like hell. No devotion in the whole city. Everybody's in Maya, but no problem, because he's a pure devotee. But his devotion rubbed off onto others, and so many people became devotees. So the more we're connected to Krishna, also we can help others in their Krishna consciousness. Just like we recently heard about Balaram Gopal Prabhu. He's up in Mount Shasta, and he's just walking around, and distributing books. Yesterday he distributed 2 Srimad Bhagavatam sets.
1 CC and 1 Lilamrita.
And 1 CC?
Yeah.
And 1 Lilamrita. Wow. It's amazing. It's just a new devotees. 2 Srimad Bhagavatam sets, Chaitanya Charitamrita set, and a Prabhupada Lilamrita. That's amazing.
Just walking around.
Just walking around talking to people. So he's already gotten some empowerment there. I was talking to Mahotsaha just yesterday. He's selling Shivaram sets at the festival. I said, you got sets selling in your veins, And he has bhaktas selling Srimad Bhagavatam sets out there. It's just like, how is this possible? Krishna empowers. Krishna Shakti Vinana Itar Bhavatam. Without the mercy of Krishna, one cannot spread Krishna consciousness. So these devotees, they're just fixed. The more we're fixed in Krishna, the more Krishna empowers us to give. It's not, we have to receive, though. We have to receive. The more we receive Krishna, the more we're able to give Krishna. Therefore, Prabhupada emphasized so much the importance of sadhana. Sadhana bhakti. purity is the force. So, and we saw the example of Prabhupada, just such purity. You know, at one point there was so many devotees going out preaching. The devotees would go to university and they would be trying to sell books in the university. Oh, no, we already, one of you guys have been here, we already got some. Okay, devotees have been here, so he wouldn't go to another university. No, you guys have been here already, we got books. So he's like, wow. Then he decides to go off to a very remote university in the hills somewhere. And he goes up there, you know, driving. He knocks on the door. No, I already got some of these. You guys already been here. Therefore, there's a book called The Hare Krishna Explosion. This is the Shakti of Srila Prabhupada. It's just such determination. And he prayed so strongly that Krishna reciprocated and sent so many people. So, therefore, we have to take this very seriously, and we have to pray. Yeah. If we want to have success in book distribution or in our Krishna consciousness, we have to do a lot of praying. As it said, it's not what you say, but it's how you pray. So we have to pray very, very hard, and Krishna, he reciprocates. I'm sure our Balaram Gopal is up there praying quite a bit. Who's he up there with? Suvarna Bindu. And he's also selling, I saw one,
He did a huge the other day. He did like, at this mushroom festival, Balaram Gopal was sick. And Suvarna Bindu did like $600 practically on his own.
That's
he
amazing.
Did like 2 saptas, 1 Lilamrita, and he was just walking around this mushroom festival.
So yeah, the sincerity, Prabhupada said, by the sincerity of my devotees, Krishna consciousness will be spread. The books will go out. So we had to pray for this sincerity, and then things happen. Amazing things happen. That's what's so nice about book distribution, is you get reciprocation. You know, it's so ecstatic when people take books. A lot of people take books like that. I mean, Balaram Gopal must have been dancing in ecstasy. I mean, he must have been in ecstasy. I mean, just to have a day like that, and Suvarna Bindu as well. Who, you know, just to have this reciprocation with people, and you get the reciprocation of Krishna. So this is what's so sweet about book distribution, is you get that reciprocation, and you feel the presence of Krishna. Yeah. It's like sometimes people say, "Well, can you see God?" And so Prabhupada was asked that, and Prabhupada said yes. And Rameshwar was there. There was an interview taking place, and Rameshwar said, "Well, he sees God in the sense that he sees the energies of God." And Prabhupada said, "No, I see God. I see Krishna." So it's natural also to see Krishna, to feel the presence of Krishna. It's natural because we're part of Krishna. He's our Father. Yeah. But we have these coverings now. Avartam jnanam etina jnanino nitra kamarupena bhaktya dusmena noyanacha. The wise man in his pure consciousness is covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and burns like fire. Never satisfied, burns like fire. So this is the covering. You know? So by this Krishna consciousness, this covering is removed. Yeah. Just like if you have a magnet is attracted to iron. Yeah. But if some rust gets on the iron, then eventually, if there's a lot of rust, then eventually there's no attraction anymore. But if the rust is scraped away, then eventually the attraction is there again. So everyone is attracted to Krishna, but there's this rust, this rusty lust, which is keeping us from being attracted to Krishna. So by this hearing about Krishna, by chanting Hare Krishna, by engaging in devotional service, gradually this rust will be removed, this rusty lust will be removed, and then that natural love for Krishna will be there. But we have to be patient. There's a lot of rust, too much rust covering the soul. But this process is so powerful that this contamination can become completely removed if we sincerely endeavor and pray like anything. So there's a couple of minutes left here. Any comments or a question? Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, I've experienced over the years that book distribution, there's definitely direct reciprocation.
Yeah.
But when it comes to making devotee and like taking time to be with them and hear their problems, and then you hear their problems and you preach to them and they go away. How do we remain patient to receive Krishna's reciprocation in those circumstances? Because that's also preaching, and it's in one sense the extension of book distribution.
Yeah.
But the book's going out, it's like you can feel the direct reciprocation. I've seen it for years. It's like you go out and you're absorbed in Krishna, and books are going out, but then you're also absorbed in Krishna and you're trying to preach to people, but it's not as easy because you're dealing with a living entity that has free will, and you're not just.
And they're under the modes of nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's that? Was it karmanyavadi karasne mafalechu kadachan? You can't be attached to the results. Right? You have a right to perform your prescribed duties, but you're not entitled to enjoy the fruits of the activity. We can't be attached. We try our best, and we got to leave the rest to Krishna. Try our best. Yeah, it's frustrating. We're trying so hard to distribute books and make devotees, and sometimes they come and they disappear. They come and they go. Yeah, Prabhupada said, don't be surprised about those who leave. Be surprised about those who stay. So we have to have that. Yeah, we try our best. Anyway, they get so much benefit. They're chanting Hare Krishna. They're taking prasadam. They don't take it up. The rest of this life, still they get that neha bikram and asusti. That's eternally there in their bank account. So we shouldn't be don't be too disappointed. They have their life, and Krishna's reciprocating with them. So Prabhupada said it's not easy to make a devotee. Someone may be chanting and practicing, but is he actually a devotee?
With his faith.
Yeah. Prabhupada said you know who a devotee is if he has difficulty, he keeps getting up. He keeps getting up. Just like a child, he falls down, he keeps getting up. The one who is not a devotee, he has difficulty, he falls down and he goes away. A devotee keeps getting up. No matter how difficult it is, he keeps getting up. He keeps getting up. And eventually, we're able to walk very nicely, and eventually run and do calisthenics and do all kinds of things like Vaisheshika Maharaj. He's in good shape, materially and spiritually, and therefore he's given so much guidance. So many devotees, Radhanath Swami, so inspirational. So many devotees they're expert in their spiritual calisthenics, able to do so much, inspiring devotees. Any question from the internet, or a comment, or reflection? Okay, Srila Prabhupada.